The lobby of the St. Regis Hotel buzzed with the quiet, expensive hum of high society. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm, golden glow on the polished marble floors, and the air smelled faintly of lilies and old money. I stood by the grand entrance, my simple attire a plain white t-shirt and a pair of worn jeans, feeling like a stain on a silk tapestry. Every so often, a guest would float by, their designer bags clutched in manicured hands, their gazes sliding over and through me as if I were a particularly uninteresting ghost. It was a look I was used to, the casual dismissal of the wealthy. Suddenly, a voice, sharp and laced with authority, cut through the ambient murmur. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." I turned to see the hotel concierge, a man whose suit probably cost more than my rent for the year. His name tag read Arthur, and his expression was a carefully curated blend of polite disdain. He stood ramrod straight, a gatekeeper to this palace of luxury, and I was clearly not on the guest list. "Is there a problem?" I asked, my voice calm, even though my heart had started to beat a little faster. This was the part I always found so illuminating. Arthur's smile didn't reach his eyes. "This is a private establishment, ma'am. We maintain a certain standard for our patrons." His eyes flicked down to my scuffed sneakers and then back up, lingering for a moment on my unstyled hair. The message was clear. I didn't meet the standard. A few nearby guests had stopped their hushed conversations, their attention now fixed on the unfolding drama. I could feel their judgment, a palpable wave of disapproval. A woman in a Chanel suit whispered something to her companion, who let out a soft, condescending laugh. "I understand," I said, meeting Arthur's gaze, "but I believe I have a reservation." He scoffed, a tiny, almost imperceptible sound. A reservation? Under what name? The challenge was clear in his tone. He was indulging me, playing out the final act before having security escort me from the premises. "The name is Eleanor Vance," I said, holding his gaze without blinking. For a moment, nothing happened. Arthur simply stared at me, his condescending smile frozen in place. Then, a flicker of something confusion perhaps, crossed his face. He pulled a sleek tablet from behind the concierge desk, his fingers tapping quickly on the screen. The whispering from the onlookers grew a little louder, their curiosity piqued. I watched as the blood drained from Arthur's face. His eyes widened, and his mouth fell slightly open. The tablet clattered onto the marble desk as his hand started to shake. He looked up at me, his expression a comical mix of horror and disbelief. The air in the lobby, once filled with soft chatter, had fallen completely silent. Every eye was on us. Miss Vance," he stammered, his voice a strangled whisper. "My deepest apologies. I had no idea." He was practically bowing now, his posture transformed from rigid gatekeeper to fawning servant. You're the one." The woman in the Chanel suit looked utterly bewildered. "The one? What one?" she muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. Arthur scrambled from behind his desk, his face a mask of frantic panic. "Miss Vance is our VVIP guest," he announced to the silent, stunned lobby. "She's the hotel critic from the Gilded Key, the anonymous reviewer." He turned back to me, his voice pleading. "Please, forgive my ignorance. We've been expecting you, of course. Your suite, the presidential, is ready. We have a private elevator waiting." A slow smile spread across my face. "An anonymous reviewer, Arthur," I said softly, "is meant to have an authentic experience, to see how the hotel treats every guest, not just the ones who look the part." I let my eyes drift over the frozen faces in the lobby, the woman in Chanel, her friend, the other gawking patrons. Their expressions of smug superiority had been replaced with shock and a dawning, delicious embarrassment. I continued, my voice ringing clear in the pin-drop silence. "I've seen everything I need to see for today." Arthur looked like he was about to be physically ill. "Please, Miss Vance, allow us to make it up to you. A complimentary dinner at our Michelin-starred restaurant, a spa treatment, anything." I picked up an imaginary piece of lint from my t-shirt. "Arthur," I said, my tone casual, "do you know why I wear these clothes to a review? It's a simple test. A hotel's true measure of luxury isn't in its chandeliers or its marble floors. It's in its hospitality. It's in how you treat the person you think has the least, not the person you know has the most." I looked around the lobby one last time, my gaze lingering on the stunned faces. The silence was absolute, thick with unspoken apologies and regrets. The judgment that had been so freely given just moments before had evaporated, replaced by a heavy, awkward shame. "I'll take the private elevator now," I said, a hint of amusement in my voice. "But I'll be checking out first thing in the morning. It seems the St. Regis has failed the Gilded Key test." I turned and walked toward the ornate elevator doors that Arthur was now holding open with a trembling hand, leaving a lobby full of silent, chastened people in my wake. The message was clear, and I didn't need to write a single word yet for it to be understood. True class isn't about what you wear or how much money you appear to have. It's about how you treat people. And in that grand, opulent lobby, I was the richest person in the room. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories that reveal the truth behind the facade.